This, I realize, is one of the most challenging sounds for French learners. So, n, n, m, m, a, n, a, n, a, m, a, n, uh-huh. Bonjour les amis, comment ça va? Hello everybody, how are you doing? You're welcome to my channel, Be Enfrenched. My name is Madam Wilma. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe because you get a lot of benefits from following this page. Right, today we're going to look at phonetics. Yes, sounds. And I've done a video on the phonetics before, but today I'm doing another one because this, I realize, is one of the most challenging sounds for French learners. Okay, so we're looking at the sounds en. En in French, oh my, it is not what you think. This is and sometimes, no matter how I say it, no matter how many times I say it, people still stick with the n. So please, today I'm letting you know that it's en in French is and we're going to look at all the other sounds that give the and then the n also to avoid the confusion. So we have en, em, an, am given okay, your mouth should be like this. Okay, right. So we're looking at en first. I'll use the first word which is popular, enfant. Enfant. I'm using this word because if you have been saying it, you'll be saying enfant. Have you been saying enfant? No, you'll be saying enfant. If you can remember that you say enfant, then you should easily remember that en is enfant. Enfant means child. The next word we'll look at is pendant. Pendant means during. Pendant, during. Great. The next word we'll look at is ventre. Ventre. Ventre is stomach. Ventre. Good. It's not ventre. Ventre. Right. Okay. And then I'll take a last word. It's prend. Prend. Okay. Prend. To take. It's not prend. Je prends. No, it's not je prends. Je prends. Right. So these ones, whenever you see them, please remember And just because it's a very big, it's a major problem for people, let me also add some more. Like we have entre, or entrée, entrée. Yeah, it makes sense to you now, right? Yes. So en sounds I could give more and more examples, but that would make the video too long. Now let's look at the next one, which is em also being We'll start with membre. Membre. Membre means member, just like the English one, but em is so you don't say membre, you say what? Membre. The next one is temps. Temps. Le temps. Le temps in French usually refers to the weather, but in some cases it's used for the time. Temps. Temps. Right. The next word we'll look at is gingembre. Gingembre. Gingembre is ginger. That is not a so popular word, but I wanted to have another word added to this to help you with the sound. Right. The next one we're going to look at is an. We have used an already in the previous example, so let me take that. Let me start from there. Enfant. Yes. Enfant has that again. But you know, in French, most of the time we don't pronounce the last sound. So the T, you don't get, you just drop it. Enfant, right? And then pendant. Pendant. Great. Okay. The next one we'll look at is the am. Am as in chambre. Chambre. Yes, so there too, I know some of you like pronouncing the last letters. It's not chambre. No. If you have not seen an accent on the E at the end, you don't sound the E. Chambre. Chambre. So chambre means room. If you want more on that, the sound, the E and all of that, I have a previous video on that. Check it out. Right. The next one we'll look at is lamp. Lamp, just like the English. Lamp. So if you get stuck at all, just remember lump. You'll be fine. Right. So that is it for the For my students, we usually try to use sounds and all of that, play and games to get our sounds right. So I did a song with my students. It's an echo. So we say N, then they repeat N, M, M. If you know your French alphabet, this is the M is EM, right? If you don't know your French alphabet, check my videos. You get it all there. Everything you need to know about French, they are in my videos, okay? So N, N, M, M, N, N, M, N, So whenever you're stuck with that sound, remember yeah, right. The next one we'll look at is yes, I know that this sound has been the next set of sounds that I'm going to give have been causing some confusions here and there. I'll explain at the end of the video. UN in French is when you're doing your numbers, you say what? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not 1, 2. No, it is UN is This sound is okay, so for one, for lundi. Lundi. Yes, I got you on that one because you'll be saying lundi. I caught you. It's not lundi. It is lundi because UN is Okay. The next one we'll look at is UM. UM also We have it in parfum. Parfum. Parfum is perfume. Remember, we don't pronounce the last sounds. So it's not perfume. Parfum. Okay, parfum is perfume. And then we have the word humble. I know this one is confusing for you because it's just like the English spelling, but the pronunciation is different. Yeah, it is humble. And that is why we have a lot of people who say that, oh, I know how to read French, but I cannot speak it. It's a sound problem. If your sounds are wrong in French, speaking is going to be a problem. Okay, so this is humble. We say humble because the H is silent and the UM is so humble. The next set of sounds to look at is IN. IN also gives N. N as in matin. Matin, morning. Those of you have been saying matin, le matin. It is not really what it should be, but we'll talk about it again later. Matin. Un. Matin. And then cinq. Cinq. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not cinq, it's not cinq. It's cinq because IN is un. I can give you examples on these ones. We also have intelligent. We have intéressant. Right? So there are some of the words that are spelled exactly the same way in English or a little close to their English equivalents, but their pronunciations are different because the French sounds are different. And that is why in your head, you might think that, oh, when I read French and I'm giving work on French, I'm able to do it. But when it's time to speak, you'll be saying things. Sometimes my students will be telling me something and I don't understand. They don't get why I don't get it. It's because your sounds are in English. So when you're using English sounds to speak French, the one listening to you will not understand. And that is why the French sounds are very, very, very important. So yes, important. Right. Now let's look at I am also un. Right. Un as in simple. It's as simple as simple, right? So yes, in English you say simple, but in French, I am, so we say simple. Spelling, different pronunciation. Simple. All right, simple. And then another word which you know very well but pronounced wrongly because of English, important. Important. Yes, important. Important. Okay, now the next one we're going to look at is YN. YN is also N. As in, for this one, there are no popular words. I usually like to use the popular common words, but this one, there are not too many popular ones. So let me use it like that. We can look at syndicat. Syndicat. Syndicat is a syndicate. And then we can have synchroniser. Synchroniser, to synchronize, right? When it comes to the difficult ones, I want to quickly brush away from that. All that matters to me is that you have the sounds and then I'm giving you examples with that sound. Now let's move to YM. YM, we have symbol. Symbol. You could have said it was symbol. It's not symbol. YM sounds So although it looks like it's English, the YM is So symbol. Symbol. Right. And then another very popular French word, sympathique. When we say somebody is sympathique, it means the person is nice. Okay, sometimes we cut it short and then we say sympa. Some of you tend to say simpa. But it's a town in Ghana. It's not simpa, please. It is sempa. Sempa. Nice. The next thing we'll look at is AIN. AIN is as in pain. Pain. Du pain. Bread. It's not pain. It is pain. Pain. Okay. And then we have main. Main. La main. The hand. Main. It's not main. Okay. So pain and main. Right. Also, we have AIM giving us the We have faim. Faim. J'ai faim. J'ai faim. Some of you will say j'ai faim. And faim. It's not faim. Okay. J'ai faim. Faim. La faim. Hunger. J'ai faim. Okay. And then the last word I'll add, which is not too popular, is den. Den is a not too popular word for saying dear. Alright. So here you see that we had what? UN, UM, IN, IM, YN, YM, AIN, AIM. So what I notice is that usually when the N one sounds that way, when the one with N sounds that way, it's the same for the one ending with M. So just learn them, pair them up, and learn them together. Okay, so for this also, this is how I sing it with my students. We use hen. Okay, so we have UN, UN, UM, UM, EN, EN, EM, EM, YN, YN, YM, YM, AIN, AIN, AIM, AIM, and then we repeat it. Okay, so these sounds, they help. Now, this is where the confusion starts. The Gen Zs have changed things, right? Just like every language everywhere being affected by the Gen Zs, it's the same with the French language. The sounds, so some of them tend to pronounce these last sets as and that's where the confusion starts. So what I tell people is that if you are now learning, it's better to stick to the phonetic rules as it is, like what I've given to you. But when you get used to it, when you master your sounds, you can now shift to these other areas that they have now introduced. But most importantly, just look at how they are saying it where you are and just fit into the system. All right, so that is it for today. I'm sure this video has helped you. If it has, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. My name again is Madam Wilma. Make sure to check all the other videos. Until we meet again, it is over.